Hello, students. Today we are going to learn the two remaining topics of our first chapter, Heritage of India. So, today's topics are India, Land and People, and Preservation and Conservation of Heritage. First, we study India, Land and People. The Dravidians were considered to be the most ancient people of India. But the modern researchers of linguistic and anthropology have proved that six more tribes came and settled in India even before the Dravidians. Now let's study about those tribes. First tribe, Negritoids or Hapsi people. Some historians believe that the Negroes are the most ancient inhabitants of India. These people came to India from Africa via Baluchistan. The characteristics of these people were such as they had black complexion, they had the height of 4 to 5 feet, and they had curly hair. These are the information we are getting about the Negroes. The second tribe of people who came to India after the Negroes were Astroloids or Nishad people. They came from Southeast Asia. The physical features of these people were they had black complexion, broad head, flat nose, and they were short in height. Some of the tribes of India, like Kol, Munda, Khasi, tribes of Assam, Nicobar, and Myanmar, have similarities to these astroloids. These people have contributed immensely to the growth and development of Indian culture and civilization. They had the knowledge of making clay utensils and they wore cotton clothes. They had great religious beliefs also. The next tribe is the Dravidians. Dravidians were believed to be the original inhabitants of India. They were the direct descendants of Stone Age civilization and they created the Indus Valley civilization in India. They gave us the concept of mother as goddess and father as god. So, the thought of Parvati and Shiva as mother and father developed in India. They also worshipped various elements of nature. The tradition of worshipping with Dhoop, Deep, and Aarti are considered to be the gifts of Dravidians. They had a matriarchal system of family, which means mother or the female had a prominent place in the family. They had the knowledge of different crafts and arts like building of boats, raft, weaving, spinning, dyeing, which means coloring, etc. When the Aryans came to India, North India, these people gradually shifted to the southern part of India and they settled there. That's why today we can see the people speaking Dravidian family languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam in South India. Another group of tribes who came to India were Mongoloids. They came to India from North China via Tibet and they settled down at North Assam, Sikkim, Bhutan, West Bengal, etc. These people who came to India gradually lost their own identity and they Indianized themselves. The physical characteristics of these Mongoloids were that these people had yellow complexion, flat face, chubby cheeks, almond shaped eyes, etc. Due to their yellow complexion, these people were also known as Kirar people. After the Mongoloids, Alpine, Dinaric, and Armenoids were the group of people who came to India. These people came from Central Asia, and all these three tribes have lot of similarities. And the origin of these tribes are found in a large number in Gujarat, Saurashtra, Maharashtra, Bengal, and Odisha. Now we learn about the Aryans. These people had started the Aryan civilization in India. In the ancient time, the Hindus were called Aryans, and the area where they lived was called Aryavrata. This region where they lived was also known as Sapta Sindhu region because 7 rivers were flowing through these regions. In the initial stage, the Aryans were concentrated in the northwestern part of India and gradually they began to extend their region. Their area was extended up to Mithila, which is the present Bihar, in the east, and it extended up to Vindhyachal in the south. These people were more developed than the other contemporary tribes. Their vast region was recognized by various other names such as Bharat Bhumi, Bharat Khand, and Bharat Varsha after the name of their king Arya Bharat. They were the lovers of nature. They loved and worshipped various elements of nature like the trees, rivers, mountains, the sun, the wind, and the rain. They also composed many hymns or prayer songs for praying these various natural elements. They had also developed ceremonies like recitation of Vedas and they started performing yagnas, which we follow even today in our religious ceremonies. Thus, we can see a very fine amalgamation of all these tribes and a rich and harmonious culture was formed in India. These tribes, as I have mentioned in the previous lecture, had amalgamated in such a way that they lost their individual identity during the long period of time and they gradually Indianized themselves. Now we move on to the last topic of our chapter, preservation and conservation of heritage. Heritage is the identity of our country. It brought glory to our nation. So, every individual of this country should be aware about our glorious heritage and we should consider that it is our primary and pious duty to preserve our heritage. If we see someone damages or doing any harm to our ancient memorials or historically important places or anything which is a part of our heritage, you should see that you should stop that person from doing any harm or destruction to that site. The importance and need of conservation of heritage is mentioned in our fundamental duties also. It is mentioned in Article 51A and they are as follows. To understand the importance of a harmonious culture, prosperity, and to preserve it. Second point, maintain the forests, tanks, rivers, ponds, and the wild animals and birds, along with maintaining the natural environment and to show compassion for all the living creatures. Another point is the protection of public property and giving up violence are also included in it. Thus, we should maintain the purity, sanctity, and beauty of all these places, considering it as our moral duty. In this way, we can conclude that the Indian heritage is a result of the development of the people of India in the social, economical, political, and cultural fields over a period of thousands of years. Thank you.